Happy Wednesday, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Pageant Sit Down. My name is Regina Lena, and I am so excited to have all of you here with us this evening. It's crazy. It's fall here in the city of Toronto, or in Canada in general. I actually met our guest in the springtime. So it's so wild how fast time is flying. I feel like I just met her. But I'm really excited for all of you to meet her. She is none other than Mrs. Universe Canada 2021, Shannon Green. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Regine. Thank you for having me on the show. And hello, all the guests and viewers.
Hello, everyone. This is not just, it's funny because I tell all my viewers or my guests, I'm like, oh, just think of it as a girl chat. I think you're the first one in 64 episodes to welcome the viewers. Welcome to a girl chat.
Thank you.
Well, Shannon, there are a few people who are on here. There's actually a bunch of them, and some of them may know you, some of them may not. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, as you've already introduced me, my name is Shannon Green. You're Mrs. Universe Canada 2021. I am a mother, wife, and a business owner. I currently manage 3 companies, which also entail real estate construction and then mortgage financing. My initiatives platforms are Lady Entrepreneur and also Moms for Moms. I am a college graduate. I graduated from a legal course and currently not working in the field.
Doesn't that tend to happen?
All the time. So many people I know, it's happened that way. But you know what? I just tend to find that you follow the path that you follow a certain path in life and just follow your passion and what makes you happy. Not saying that the legal field did not make me happy, but I was destined for other things, I believe, at that time in my life when I made that choice.
I feel the same way, and I did 3 different programs in college, and it wasn't until I really figured out who I am as a person that the program made sense to me. So, girl, I feel you on that one. So there are a few people here in the chat. Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off. We're just gonna say hello.
No,
We're gonna say hello to Melissa and Stacy. They're both in the chats. They're saying hello to each other and they're saying hi to all of us. So hello, ladies.
hey, girls.
It's girl chat now. To all of you who are also watching, I know there are a few of you. You may or may not have said anything in the chats just yet. But if you do have any questions for Shannon, whether it be about law, whether it be about pageantry or real estate, leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to ask her.
I would say I have to brush up on my law.
Okay, don't ask law. Don't ask.
So many years.
Fine, if you have any other questions besides. So Stacy says, yes, your path led to success. You're destined for greatness. Yes, girl.
Thank you.
That is a great way to start our chat.
This is awesome.
She is. I mean, Melissa and Stacey have both been on the show previously, so they know what it's like to be in your seat. So.
Oh, Melissa is awesome. She's also awesome.
She is.
I love those girls. I've throughout my last pageant, well, Galaxy, I did Galaxy was my last show that I did, and I met a lot of great women in that pageant. So, and I met Melissa and Stacy through Galaxy as well, and they're great. And I won't forget Chanel.
Yes.
There's other ladies that are awesome and great as well, but I know they're on the call right now, and I just wanted to remind them.
Well, there you go. No, I see that you've all created a bond, and I love that. I remember going through photos, and as a reigning queen, what I loved doing was seeing what people were doing, seeing the sisterhood being formed, and I love that. I love seeing, and you all still do it now, even outside of Galaxy and the pageant being done. I see that you're doing different events with all of them, and I love that.
We're all on different platforms, and I didn't want to leave them out. I like them and I enjoy their company, and I've reached out to them.
I
to
love
see if
that.
they wanted to do any initiatives, and they've reached out to me. We all still have conversation.
It's amazing. Speaking of conversation, we're going to start with this pageant sit down. Melicia has a question for you. She says, how did you get into pageantry?
Ooh, I knew that question would come. So my first pageant was in 2004. It was Miss Brampton International. The reason why I started pageants is because of my sister, for one. She did her first pageant, and it was something that was said to her. It was her first show. She won, and she was up against like what you would call like a serial pageant queen, a girl who won like every single show she did. And it was what the mother said to her that just left an impression on me at such a young age. And it was like, if you feel like that we cannot do pageants, why should I make you feel that way? I'm going to go into shows and conquer it, or just be a part of it. And then my other reason why I do pageants is because I've not a good public speaker, and I wanted to build on my confidence in that. So from what I've just seen, like on social media or news, or even what my sister did at that time, I felt like pageants would have been a good resource and tool for me to build upon these skills. And it has throughout my life in many ways. Sometimes I still feel like, oh, I'm going to be nervous and I'm not going to do well, but I've come a long way throughout my pageant journey from 2004 until now.
Well, you're speaking to all of us. I know it's virtual, but you're still talking to us. And it is true. Public speaking is hard and not everyone can do it, but you're great at it. So that's amazing. I think with pageantry and public speaking, they do go hand in hand, but then you can also use it in real estate, for example, the businesses
Yeah.
that you run. And I see it. I follow your social media and I see how successful you are in what you're doing. So I'm glad that what she said in 2004 stuck with you.
Yeah, it was not definitely not a nice comment, but and to be at such a young age to hear somebody say that to my sister and my mom, I'm just like, what
Yeah.
kind of people are out there?
Whoa.
But
Yeah.
you you know, they didn't let that like, of course it affected them, but they didn't act out or lash out
Hmm.
in a negative way. They just continued on with celebrating my sister at that time. That's what we did, and we continue to do that in our different life
Hmm.
right now, right?
Hmm.
In both our professional and personal life with our family.
Hmm. But it's so interesting how, it was 2004. So hearing a comment being made, it's so crazy how something like that can affect you for the rest of your life. Like, look at it. It's been how many years and you're still doing pageants, you're still thriving. You're like, whatever, lady.
Yeah, I tend to say everything happens for a reason.
Hmm.
And maybe that comment was meant to be said for me to take this path in my life and be where I am today.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't say that that comment affects me now, because I've seen so many other things in life. So, growing up, you understand different perspectives coming from different people. I mean, like, even if you don't understand it, everybody's going to have their own opinion, their own perspective on different life changes, etc., right?
Hmm.
So at that point, I don't let it bother me. I've just continued living my life, and I've become fond of pageants and all of the skills that I can learn from it. So I continued doing it with or without her comment leaving an impact on me.
Well, that's
It's just
great.
what made me start my journey.
Mhm. It's like a kickstart. You're like, oh yeah, watch
Yeah,
me.
exactly. It's like, you can't tell me I can't do this. I'm going to prove you.
And here you are, Mrs. Universe Canada. First off, I do want to apologize to people who are watching. There seems to be a slight delay in your video. I know you were saying you had issues earlier in another call, but just listen to it, okay? we're good. We're good.
We're talking.
On exactly. It just there's a slight delay, so when I bounce from different screens, it kind of blacks out a little bit, but we're good. You're there. That's all that matters.
Well, if you don't
So
hear something, just let me know and I'm happy to repeat myself.
no, we hear you fine.
Okay.
It's the video.
Okay.
It's the video.
Okay.
Don't worry. Just so you're aware, and so that our viewers are probably like, why is it going back and forth? That is why. I apologize. Technology. But see, I do want to ask you, Shannon. So I saw a photo online. I believe you posted it a few weeks ago. You did Miss Universe Canada back in, I think, 2009. So
Yes.
what is it like now having the the Universe Canada sash, but Mrs.?
It's very exciting, and well, if you saw the post, I'm pretty sure you read it, and I would say that Miss Universe, when I was just a delegate, that pageant was more like an eye opener to me, because the coaching that you actually get with that platform, the ladies that you meet, it was just like very exhilarating at the time, exciting. Like, there's so many words that I could use to express my emotions or my expressions at that time, because everybody came from a different walk of life. They were all doing positive things with themselves. I learned about like different social skills, how to walk, how to actually present myself in pageants, because I didn't really have that much coaching in the past platforms or pageants that I did, but there were people there that actually worked with you, and I found that really, really good, and that was my eye opener. So to grow up, like now in 2021, being my age now and holding the Mrs. Universe Canada title,
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful to both platforms, both national directors on both platforms, for what they're actually doing for the women and the things that they're enabling us and empowering us to learn throughout our journey with them.
So exciting. I feel so full circle, I guess, for you. You know, you did Miss Universe Canada in 2009, and then you continued your pageant journey and life, as we all do from when we first start in pageantry. And then now here you are with your new title, representing Canada in a pandemic, may I add.
Yeah.
It must be so surreal to see that sash on you, because every little girl, or at least every little pageant girl, their dream is to be on the Miss Universe stage. What is it like for you now in the Mrs. division, preparing to be on the Mrs. Universe stage?
Oh my goodness, it's exciting all over again. It's kind of crazy. And I say it's crazy because um I'm like, wow, I'm here. I made it, right? So now to get prepared for it, I'm like, it's still a pageant, but I'm like, this is a whole different ball game that I'm getting into. I'm going on to an international stage. I'm meeting 100, well, 99. I'm 100. Um, 99
What?
different women from all over the world. So the things that I'm going to be able to learn from each woman, as far as about themselves, what they're doing in the community, their culture, it's all going to be really awesome to me. But as far as preparing, I'm I'm mentally preparing myself, physically preparing myself, and then it all wardrobe comes along with it. So we have to carefully pick our outfits out, from color to style that we want, to how is it going to look on us, what complements our body,
Mm-hmm.
how should I do my hair, and then my biggest thing is, who's going to do my makeup? I'm not going to have my favorite little niece Vanessa, who always does my makeup, and to know that I always look one way, and then it's like, oh my gosh, she's going to do my makeup, who's going to do my hair. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but exciting at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The only and Like, for me, the only thing that is um, killing me a bit is I can't take my family with me.
Mm.
Because of COVID, there's so many restrictions with the Korean government, so I have to travel alone to the pageant. I'm not going to have my in-person support,
Oh, well,
but
they were
I'll get
there.
through.
They were there for you at your most previous pageant. I mean, we were just talking about it. You
Yes,
had
they were.
6 of them. So just remember
Yeah.
the cheering and the love from a few months ago and then bring it with you next month. Let's see, what do we have in the chats? Oh, Melicia asks, is Mrs. Universe affiliated with Miss Universe?
No, it's two separate platforms. So Miss is just dedicated strictly for the MISS, and then Mrs. is for the married ladies looking to move on or who believes they could no longer do any pageants in the future, right? Because now they're married. But no, to answer your question, Melissa.
Okay, wonderful. And Stacy says, "What an amazing experience. Wish I could see you in South Korea." I wish we could go to South Korea. I've been watching a lot of Korean dramas, so I want to go
Oh,
to Korea just to have like chicken wings and beer. I don't even like beer, but I want to just do it just to say I
it would
did.
just be a thing. You could go. Like, it would be awesome if I could have everybody come with me and just bring everyone. But COVID has like changed a lot of things
Mhm.
in people's life, the way how we operate, and even the way how a lot of people see things now.
Mhm.
But I know in spirit, everybody's going to be with me. My supporters will be with me in spirit, and I believe it will be live streamed as well. So as soon as I have that information, I will be sending it out to everybody. I will be posting it, so I know I will have viewers from afar
Oh,
as
of
well.
course. And their time difference. Be prepared for it because I know when I went to compete in the Philippines, because I believe it's similar time zones, sleep as much as you can before the pageant because if it's anything like it was in the Philippines, I was still jet lagged after the pageant. So get as much rest as you can.
Yeah, I think it's I looked it up. I believe it's an 11-hour time difference.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah.
You're basically traveling through time when you come home. Like you're going back in time, which is fun, but it's also hard on your body. But I know that you're gonna do amazing. For those who don't know much about Mrs. Universe and where the pageant is happening, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so locally here, it happened virtually because of the pandemic. So I will be traveling, leaving on November 26th to Seoul, South Korea, and I will be returning on or about December 10th after the grand finale.
Wow, that's a long pageant.
So yeah, we'll have like a whole pageant week, and then one or two of those days we have to quarantine as well, do our do our COVID testing, quarantining, making sure everybody's okay before we even
Hmm.
see any of the other delegates. So that takes up a couple of days. But yeah, the 26th, it's mostly like arrival, COVID testing, quarantining, and then we get into
That makes sense.
the pageant week shebang.
Well, that I'm glad to hear that they are taking things seriously because it's so. I remember in the beginning of the pandemic when people were doing or not the beginning, I guess the middle, now where we're sitting, the middle of the pandemic. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. In the middle of the pandemic, it was. It was crazy when you saw all these international pageants happening and all these cases happening. I was like, but then you hear the pageants similar to Mrs. Universe where they are making sure the girls are quarantining. So all good energy moving forward.
Yeah, safety
Yes,
first.
yes. But I guess, okay, how was that for you to make that decision to know, okay, these are the dates of the pageant? It's still a pandemic. What made you, or what was the thought process of you deciding, okay, I'm going to risk it?
Well, in the beginning when I found out I got the title, and it was at the time where there was a lot of talk of, okay, the ban is going to be lifted, borders are going to be opening up. So I just felt like maybe by November everything would kind of calm down. Um, the vaccinations would be in place, or almost everybody would be vaccinated. Even if they're not vaccinated, the cases would be taken down. So it was more of like, okay, maybe things will be a little bit more calm by the time that I go. And then also, I believe I've come to a realization with this whole COVID thing. It's not going to go away, and you have to find your new normal,
Mhm.
and you have to just continue taking precautions as you move forward in life, because it's not going to go away, vaccinated or unvaccinated.
Mhm. Well, that's good.
So my family and I, we spoke about it, and we looked at all pros and cons, but at the end of the day, it's just about being careful and taking the same precautions that I would be doing here.
Mhm. That's so crazy. Wait a minute. You had a baby. It just clicked to me, sir, because you said you're going to be back in December. You had a baby around December last year. Are you going to be here for her birthday?
No, so we already had her birthday.
Oh, okay.
Her birthday was in July.
Oh, okay. I
So
was like, didn't she have a baby near Christmas? Guess not. Just
no,
kidding.
no. So I'll definitely be back before Christmas. So I will be spending Christmas with my family, definitely. If I was not, they would be getting on that plane and waiting for me somewhere if they can't get to South Korea, right? No, but she's one now.
Wow.
She's one. I know it's going to be a little bit tough on her. It's going to be tough on you, leaving her, leaving the rest of my family. But I guess duty calls.
Hmm. Exactly.
Duty.
Oh, man.
But
Well, they're going to cheer
yeah,
you on. Like I said, we're all cheering you on. And it's just going to be such a great experience overall. But again, like you said, safety first. And we will be praying that nothing goes wrong when you're in South Korea.
I have faith. Nothing will go wrong, and everything will go off with the niche, and we'll all be good, and
Yes.
we'll all be back to our families
Yes. Positive
in one
vibes
piece and
only.
in good health.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. So okay, we are at 8 o'clock. There you go. So we are at the halfway point of the show, and we do have a segment which is 5 tips from a beauty queen. And you have been a beauty queen since
Oh
2004.
my goodness.
So, Shannon, do you have any tips for all of our viewers watching us today?
Yes, I can give some tips. So first, I would say, because the most obvious, there's a crown involved, and of course, one day everybody wants to wear that crown. But in every show that we do, only one of us walk away with the crown. So I would say, be a queen with or without a crown, because pageant day, before pageant day, after pageant day, somebody is watching you. And once you're part of a platform and you're part of a sisterhood, you're always a part of that sisterhood, no matter if you feel like you've left that sisterhood. Okay? um no Ask yourself, why are you doing the pageant? And what I mean by why is, are you doing it just for the crown? Are you doing it to for social skills, or to build on your confidence, like I said I was doing it in the beginning? Or do you just want to have fun and get dressed up in glittery outfits, right? There's nothing wrong with that, definitely. Then I would say, participate and enjoy the experience, because when you're on stage, you're probably only on stage for 10 minutes the most. And preparing yourself all the way up until that day, obviously it's taking us more than 10 minutes. I've been with this title now since springtime until now. And then when I get to South Korea, I'm probably only going to be on that stage for, I'll say, half an hour the most, because there's 100 of us, and it's going to go fast. So I'd say participate and enjoy every moment of it and build those relationships with who you vibe with. And even if you don't vibe with them, still have your pleasantries and say hello and goodbye, because somebody's always watching you. Um, what else? I think that was, oh, be your own competition. Be your own competition, because nobody else is going to be like you, and you are your own person at the end of the day. So don't worry about what other people are doing. Just think about why it's going to come back to your why again. Why are you there? And prepare yourself for it. Don't worry about anybody else. Was that 5?
I think so.
I said part. Yeah, I think that was 5.
Well, those were
I
5. I think those are 5. I lose count
I think that was
sometimes.
5. Like,
Well, those are her pageant tips, ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen,
that was 5.
as they were amazing pageant tips as well. So actually, as it's funny as you were saying that I was looking through pageant questions from Instagram, and then it popped up as well here in the chat. So you also mentioned, be your own competition. But what part of the competition are you looking the most forward to?
Evening gown and national costume.
Ooh.
Because I like to get dressed up, and this is really the one time you get to dress up. For like, there's it definitely, like, now there's nowhere else you can go and get dressed up unless you're going to do it in your own home,
Mhm.
or and then my national gown segment,
Mhm.
that is going to be an exciting part. It will be the first time I'm actually doing a national costume in a pageant. So that will be different and exciting for me.
Well, I cannot wait. Okay, so for Mrs. Universe Canada, what are
Mhm.
the or sorry, Mrs. Universe, what are the segments of competition?
So we're going to have the national gown, evening gown, and then there's fitness and swimwear. There will be talent, but not everyone will be able to do their talent. They're
Oh,
just going to do like a short list and pick a few. So I still have to be prepared.
yeah. Oh,
What am I
wow.
going to do? I have no idea yet.
Okay, so wait, so it's like a lottery. Like, okay, you're called, you're called, you're called, you're called. Out of a
Yes.
hundred girls.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So
That's
you
gonna be
still have to
wild.
be prepared. Last time I did talent in a pageant, I did belly dancing. So I'll
Ooh.
probably do something to do with dancing again.
There you go. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. That is amazing. I can't
On
wait.
the
I
pageant
I
sit
am
down.
right. Exclusively only here. Stacy says great tips. They were great tips. I think what I love about your tips is they were authentic to you. And what I also loved was the last one, whereas be your own competition, because we forget that sometimes, right? We're so focused on the crown. We're so focused on, what is this girl wearing? Oh, I don't want to match this girl. So
Yeah.
remembering that you are your biggest competition is, I think, key.
Yeah, and sometimes I find that we tend to forget that, because I know in the beginning I was me myself. I was worried about, oh, this girl's prettier than me, or she looks better. Oh my gosh, she's so tall. There's so many things that can run through our minds at that time.
Hmm.
And over the years, I've learned to sit back, like, throughout my experience, it's like, okay, I need to sit back and I just need to focus on myself,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, who are you really are you competing for? I don't know, Julie next door, or are you competing for yourself? Right? So you have to do what makes you happy, and what's going to make you comfortable, and what will keep you relaxed, and I guess the less anxiety is
Hmm.
always best
Hmm.
throughout showtime.
Hmm. Well, I cannot wait. Um, Melissa and Stacy are both asking if it will be live streamed.
From what I know, yes, I was told it would be. So as soon as I have that information, I will post it, and I will personally send it to you, Stacy and Melissa.
There you go, girls. I'm sure you have a group chat. Just hold on, don't worry. So I do want to ask a little bit more about your pageant experience because I'm sure going from 2004 to 2021, you've experienced a lot in pageantry. I'm sure you took a break in between there, but what is it about pageantry that keeps you coming back for more?
Oh my goodness. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? No more pageants for me. And then it's like I see it pop up on my screen and I'm like, okay, no, I gotta do it. Um, one, it's the relationships. You meet some really awesome like-minded individuals,
Mhm.
and that for one, I really like that, be able to have that connection with people who are interested in the same things as me. So in this case, pageantry.
Mhm.
And then the glitz and the glamour, it's so beautiful, and you don't get it all the time. So it's just nice to have that every now and then. And then, like, I've always volunteered. I've always done something in my community, even though it's not all over social media. But um, you know, being part of certain platforms, it really brings back that community service component of it, and it just reminds you um, of what's out there and how to always continue being humble about yourself. Sometimes,
Mhm.
there's different, like, take us ladies for example, in on the different platforms. Some of us have good lives, some of us have different. I shouldn't say good or bad, but everybody comes from a different life set, right? And to
Mhm.
me, it's like you never forget where you've come from. So even being out there in the community, it's like, yeah, I remember where I used to be, and now I know where I am today. So it's always good to give a helping hand.
Mhm.
So for me, it's the community, the glitz and glamour, and the connection to certain sisterhoods.
I love that. No, it's true. Everything you said is true. I feel the same way. I'm like, oh yeah, I literally, I remember in 2017, I said, I'm going to end my pageant career on the Miss Universe Canada stage, regardless if I make it or not. Fast forward 2 years, I'm like, not even a year later, I'm like, oh, Galaxy, okay, let's do it. Like,
Yeah, when I saw
you
Galaxy,
think
I'm
you're
like,
done?
okay, here's another pageant. I'm doing it, and
Yeah,
it
because then
was
you
it was
get
so.
introduced. Sorry, you get
No,
introduced
no,
to all these like pageants that you think, oh, I'm done at 27. And then they're like, just kidding, we got you at 26 and up, or
yeah.
28 and up.
I thought my pageant career was done, and then I became a Mrs. They're like, oh, there's a Mrs. pageant. Okay, I'm on board for sure.
I love that.
So here
So
I
wait, was going back into pageantry in the Mrs. division, so I guess Galaxy, was that your first pageant or coming back into the pageant world?
as a Miss,
Mrs.?
as Mrs.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
yeah.
So, what was it like then for your husband? This is new to him. What was it like for him to see his wife do her thing on stage?
It is definitely new to him, and it was just like he was like, look at my wife. That's my wife.
I love that.
No, but he's very supportive. My family's supportive, so I had the support all around.
Okay, another question then. Your son, because your son is older now, so he's probably like, what is mommy doing on stage?
Yeah, I believe that thought has probably crossed his mind, but he hasn't said it out loud. But
Mm.
no, he's always there supporting me as well too. And if something doesn't look good, he'd be like, "Mom, what are you wearing? No, go and take that off."
It's
He
like, not today, mom.
Yeah, he will make those comments, or he'll be like, "No, that doesn't match. No."
Wow.
Or, "Lee, you need to go find something else. Why don't you ask Auntie to help you?" So he's vocal in that aspect when it comes to me being in shows.
I love
But he's
that.
always been there along with the rest of the family.
That's amazing. Well, you do seem to have such an amazing family. I'm not just saying that because we're talking on air, but I've actually met some of your family, so
Yes, I've
I can
heard.
I can say that you do have such a welcoming family.
Thank
But
you.
speaking of family and moving on to your daughter now, your daughter's one. If she grows up and is like, "Mommy, I want to do what you did. Can I join a pageant?" Would you let her?
Yes. uh, no, I would put her into I would put her into pageants. Um, of course, I would have to speak to Daddy about that because it's a new world. It's a new
Yes,
world for him. But I would personally, I would do it myself, do it with her.
I love that. Going from that question, actually, Stacy does ask, and she did ask this through Instagram. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but she beat me to it. She asks, "What advice would you give to younger women, so the next generation?"
That want to get into pageantry or just in general?
Let's do both.
Okay. Well, in general, I would say to any lady who wants to get into pageantry or just in life itself, continue to be yourself and love yourself first. Because once you love yourself and you continue to be true to you, no matter what you do in life, you're going to get through with what you want. Doors are going to open for you. I remember like growing up, it was always a thing that said manners will bring you right through the world. And it's like, I remember my parents, like, if you don't say good morning or if you walk into a room, you don't say good afternoon to somebody, it's like, what are you doing? Don't you have any manners? So, so manners, be true to yourself, love yourself first, and that will, um, things will open up for you, and there will always be positivity around for you. I think that's the best advice I could give to anybody.
Mhm. Girl or boy, because
Yes, girl or boy.
because I feel like you said with manners, and then you mentioned positivity. It's true, the energy you give out to the world, they're gonna give back to you. So if you're happy-go-lucky and you welcome everyone, it's gonna be the exact same on your end. I love that. So I want to talk a little bit because you mentioned that you run a bunch of different businesses. I've actually rented out one of your cottages.
Yeah.
So what got you into real estate?
It was always just the love of seeing the different architecture. So being able to put colors together, how everything just comes together. Because my dad has been into construction all his life, and
Wow.
sometimes we would just go out to job sites with him just to visit, or maybe he had to pick up something. So that's where part of my love for real estate came in, watching him actually build homes
Hmm.
into different structures and different schemes, I guess, right? Would be the word.
Hmm.
So that's how I got into it at first, and then on the financing side and stuff, it was more of it challenged my mind because there's not one situation that is the same when it comes
Hmm.
to real estate or finding a client a mortgage. No one's situation is the same.
Hmm.
So being able to have something challenge my mind all the time and negotiate on behalf of somebody and solve their problem, that is what kept me in the industry.
Perfect. So, okay, can you tell us a little bit about Reno Masters? Because I knew you had a TV show, but I was like, what is it called? So I'm like quickly going. I'm like, I know it's something Masters. So tell us a little bit about Reno Masters.
Okay. So Reno Master is a local luxury home building show,
Ooh.
and I am the mortgage advisor on the show. So I advise all of the homeowners on how they can obtain the finance to do the renovations or add any additions to their home, whether they're fixing or flipping it. Um, yeah, whether they're fixing or flipping it, or it's their primary residence and they just want to maybe do a basement apartment, or they want to add an addition, hardwood flooring. We bring in, or Joe, the contractor on the show, he goes in, does all of the quotes, and then We have Laura, who is the realtor on the show. She was also on Top $1 Million Agent. If
Wow.
anybody has
I
watched that
love
show,
that show.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she should. The whole crew is awesome. Um, but yeah, I'm the mortgage advisor on the show. It will be showed on Amazon Prime
Ooh.
and Netflix. So it will be coming out soon. COVID again has kind of held back some of the filming time,
Mm.
but it'll be aired and launched shortly.
That is so exciting. Okay, I am a geek for HGTV. So when I saw that, because I was like, I know you've been filming for a while, but I've never actually seen anything. But I see your posts. So I was like, I need to ask you because I want to know when it's coming. Because I'll be fangirling and watching. I'll be like, I know her.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming soon, and I do make an appearance in every single episode. So if you're binge watching Mental Master, you'll see me every single time.
Okay, well, I will do that. Don't worry. I love shows like that. Like I did, it's just something I've always enjoyed even as a kid. Like I was like, "Oh, TV shows." Some people hate like home shows, but I find joy in it. I love seeing the how terrible the house looks in the beginning to how amazing it turns out
Yeah.
to be. There's just something about the transformation.
Yeah, and I'm always like trying to do like a little project around the house, and then my husband will be like, "What are you doing now? What are you organizing? Do you even know how to fix that?" I'll be like, "No, but I'll figure it out." It's just a thought of like and making something different
Mhm.
and enhancing what you already have. Like we just finished my shoe closet, and I feel like I need more shelves in there. And
I thought you were gonna say
but
more shoes.
well, I need more shelves to put more of my shoes on, or I don't want to get rid of any of my shoes. It's so
No,
hard to part with my shoes.
I feel
I
you.
rather buy shoes over purses. That's just how I've always been. So I have lots
I
of
do
shoes.
both. It's such a bad habit.
I know it's a habit for some, but I don't like carrying anything in my hand.
You know what's funny? Because you say that because I went from like the big purses and then I went to a backpack and now I went more to like a satchel. Or and then my purses are getting smaller and smaller, so I might be on that way.
Well,
But
I'm back to big purses right now because of my
you're a
daughter, and
mom.
yeah, and like everything's in there. I remember I went to a bridal shower a couple of months ago, and they were playing that purse game.
Oh, I
And
love
like
that game.
it was so funny. Everything that was on the list, I practically took out of my purse, and then I'll be like, "Does a hanger count?" And they're like, "Why do you have a hanger in your purse?"
You're like Mary Poppins. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it was awesome though.
That is great. Okay, moving on. I could keep talking about shoes
Yeah,
and
we went
purses.
off, but that's okay.
That's what we do on this show. We talk about random things. But I do want to talk. You know what? Promote your businesses. Promote your cottages because I've experienced it firsthand. Your yellow cottage, my family and I talk about it till this day. Like just the view of it. The weather sucked, but that had nothing to do with the cottage because we figured out the heat and the fire. So feel free to promote your businesses, your side hustles. Tell us about it.
So what do I do on the side? So as you said, we have the Yellow Cottage as a family. It's on the lakefront. All of our renters so far have loved it just because it's on the water. You can do fishing. It's 4 seasons, so you can rent it all year round. Do ice fishing, snowshoeing, lots of trails.
Ooh.
Go hiking, snowshoeing. Um, what else can you do?
It's
So many things,
Instagrammable.
so many things you can do at Yellow Cottage. If you do want to book, you can visit the Instagram page at the Yellow Cottage Life. We also have the Ridge Lodge log cabin. That's in Fort Erie, Ridgeway. 5-minute walk down to the beach. Um, Renters have had outside movie time with the family,
Stop.
lots of fires. It's another really beautiful, peaceful getaway. Lots of hiking trails around. 5 minutes away from the border if you want to go shopping.
You need to get a
Um,
COVID test.
well, now you have to get a COVID test. So that one you can follow on Instagram at the Ridge Lodge Log Cabin. And then I have my mortgage business, as you guys have already heard. I also have an initiative that I do alongside another young lady called Moms for Moms. What we do there is support new moms or existing moms coming out of shelters with the necessities that they need to start a new life or move into an apartment on their own. And then I have Lady Entrepreneur. What I do with Lady Entrepreneur is try and support female entrepreneurs in new businesses or existing businesses. And those are all on Instagram, or you can just find me at Mrs. Universe Canada and ask me any other questions, or I can send you to the right pages.
And I will have all of those links after today's show and put them into the description. How do you have time to be a mom and a wife when you have all of that going on?
A cell phone does lots of magic.
There you go.
Half of my time I do spend working from my cell phone, and because that gives me the best balance. If I'm sitting behind a computer, I don't have that playtime um, with Zamora, my daughter. I won't be able to drop my son to school or pick him up, hang out with my husband, Netflix and chill, or cook dinner or something. So it's all about just finding the right balance and what works for me and the family.
That's great. I love that. I love the balance. I love you're very family oriented, and I love that. And I know that the cottages, like you mentioned, are within the family. I think sometimes they say don't go into business with your family, but I think you guys are close enough that it works for you guys.
Yeah, some things work and then some things don't work, but in every family you have to find what works for you.
100%. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I will put all the links down below. So after today's show, if you are watching it live, it will be there. If you're not watching it live and catching us on a later time, they're already there for you, so don't worry. Before we start to wrap things up, are there any last words that you'd like to share with our viewers?
I just want to thank everybody for coming out to chat, have a girl talk with you and I, Regine, listen to my story, and actually just take the time out of their own schedules to be here with us today. So I just want to thank everyone who's listening for that, and continue being positive and living through this pandemic.
Yes.
You know?
And stay safe. Yes, and to you, Shannon, thank you first off for being a guest on today's show. I've been wanting to have you on for a very long time. It just never worked out because every time, like, I say, okay, I have a list of people I want to have on the show, and there's nothing wrong with the people that have been on the show before, but then I fill up, and I was like,
yeah, I know
but
you've been busy.
I have been, but I did want to have you on the show before you went to Mrs. Universe. So I'm really glad that we got to do this, and I am rooting for you. I'm living vicariously through your experience because who doesn't want to be Mrs. Universe one day?
Well, hopefully I come back and make you all proud with or without the crown, and you guys will still be rooting for me when I'm back.
You make all of us proud regardless of the situation. Regardless if you win or not, you are already a queen to all of us. One last thing. Andrea's here. She says, great job. One last thing that I did want to ask you. Are you still accepting donations for your food drive?
We actually dropped off a large portion of things right now. But we will be doing another drive for Christmas.
Perfect.
So if you do have anything, or if anybody has anything, contact me and I can make arrangements to pick up or drop off. And for Christmas, what our main focus will be on books and toys for children.
I love that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. For Christmas is just around the corner. It's so crazy to say that. I feel like October just started, but Christmas is just around the corner. Oh, Is there a delay on our end? Okay, we're going to start to wrap things up now here. So to all of you who are watching, thank you so much for joining us today. If you did enjoy this interview with Shannon, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you do like all things pageantry, make sure you subscribe to this channel as I do go live every week with an amazing guest. Shannon, are you still there?
I am.
Okay, perfect.
Yes,
I was
am.
like, there was a glitch for a second. I'm like, what is happening? But no, Shannon, again, thank you so much for joining us this evening. To all of the pageanters who are there, I see Stacy, I see Melissa, I know Elizabeth Marnock was in for a little bit. Andrea is here. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget, like I said, to give this video a thumbs up. And again, best of luck, Shannon, in Mrs.
Thank
Universe.
you.
I'm excited
Thank you
to
so
see what
much for having
happens.
me, Eugene.
You're so welcome. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Have a safe, long weekend, everyone, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye. Take care.